Welcome, beloved souls, to this sacred space where your heart can finally exhale, where your spirit is free to simply be. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be fully seen, fully loved, without the need to hide even the smallest part of who you are? Imagine stepping into a place where your battles are acknowledged, your victories celebrated, and your wounds given the gentle care they need to heal. What if I told you that you've found such a place right here, right now? A place where you are protected, where you are held by a love that knows no bounds, a love that flows directly from the heart of God. So, let me ask you this. What if today was the day you finally let your guard down? What if today was the day you decided to be exactly who you are, without fear, without apology? Here, there's no judgment, no expectation, just love, pure, unconditional love. Isn't that what you've been longing for? A space where you don't have to pretend, where you don't have to hide, where you can finally breathe. Think about the people who've tried to dim your light, to make you believe that your kindness, your love, your hope were weaknesses. What if they were wrong? What if your greatest strength lies in the very things they tried to take away from you? God has seen every tear, every moment of doubt, and He has placed a shield around you, a shield of love so powerful that nothing can penetrate it. Doesn't that make you wonder how powerful you really are? Today, I'm inviting you to explore that power, to remember the miracles you've witnessed, the strength that has carried you through. Have you ever considered that you're not just surviving, you're thriving? That the same God who holds the universe in His hands is holding you, guiding you, protecting you. What does that say about who you really are? Isn't it fascinating how people who've tried to break you are now stunned by your resilience? How they expected you to fall apart, to become cold and hardened just like them? But here you are, still standing, still shining, with a light they can't seem to dim. Have you ever wondered why they're so surprised? Why they just can't understand how you've managed to hold on to your goodness, your kindness, even after everything they put you through? Think about it. These people betrayed you, hurt you, and yet they're the ones left in disbelief. What did they expect? Did they really think that their actions would turn you into something you're not? They wanted to see you bitter, angry, maybe even vengeful. But instead you chose the high road, the road less traveled, the road where your spirit remains intact. And that, my friend, is something they never saw coming. It's a strange, unsettling feeling when you first notice that something is wrong, isn't it? At first, it's just a small, nagging doubt at the back of your mind, a whisper that tells you something is off, but you can't quite put your finger on it. You start to notice the little things, subtle changes in someone's behavior, words that seem to carry a sharper edge, smiles that don't quite reach their eyes. And then, slowly, it dawns on you. Someone you trusted, someone you thought was in your corner, is trying to tear you down. The realization hits you like a wave, crashing over you with a force that leaves you breathless. How could they? Why would they? You replay moments in your mind, searching for signs you might have missed, trying to understand how things got to this point. The pain is sharp, like a knife cutting deep into your heart. It's not just the betrayal that hurts. It's the loneliness that comes with it. The feeling of being so utterly alone in your pain, in your confusion. You want to reach out, to scream, to ask them why. But the words stick in your throat, and all that comes out is silence. The silence is deafening, echoing the emptiness you feel inside. You start to wonder if it's something you did, something you said. You question yourself, your worth, your very existence. And that's exactly what they wanted, isn't it? To make you doubt yourself, to strip you of your confidence, to leave you feeling scared and small. Nights become the hardest. When the world is quiet and you're left alone with your thoughts, that's when the fear creeps in. You wonder if you'll ever be able to trust anyone again, if you'll ever be able to let your guard down without the fear of being hurt. You feel the weight of it all pressing down on you, and it's almost too much to bear. But somewhere, in the midst of all that darkness, a small, quiet voice begins to speak. It's a voice you might have ignored, a voice you didn't realize was there all along. It's the voice of God calling out to you, trying to wrap you in His loving embrace. At first it's hard to feel it, to believe it. How could He be there when you feel so alone, so abandoned? But He is. He's been there all along, watching over you, even when you couldn't feel His presence. In your darkest moments, when you thought no one cared, God was there, gently holding you, guiding you through the storm. His hand was always outstretched, waiting for you to reach out and take it. It's hard to see His hand when your eyes are filled with tears, when your heart is filled with pain. But He's there, whispering to your soul, reminding you that you are not alone, that you are never alone. God's love is a constant, a beacon of light in the darkest of nights. He doesn't promise that the storms won't come, but He does promise to be with you through them all. When you feel like you're at your breaking point, when you feel like you can't take another step, that's when His strength becomes your strength. That's when you realize that it's not just you fighting this battle. He's fighting it with you. And slowly, you begin to feel it. The warmth of His love, the comfort of His presence. It's like a soft blanket, wrapping around you, shielding you from the cold, harsh world. You start to find your strength again. But this time it's not just your own strength. It's His. It's the strength of a love that is unshakable, unbreakable. A love that lifts you up when you've been knocked down. A love that reminds you of who you are and whose you are. So, yes, it's painful to realize that someone you trusted is trying to destroy you. It's lonely, it's scary, and it shakes you to your core. But even in those moments, you are not alone. God is there with His arms wide open, ready to hold you, to heal you, and to remind you that you are loved beyond measure. You are stronger than you think, because you are held by a God whose strength is limitless, whose love for you is eternal. And that, my dear, is something that no one can ever take away from you. Isn't it something? The way people expect you to crumble, to become just as cold and calculating as they are when they stab you in the back. But here you are, standing tall, with your heart still beating with love and kindness. How many times have you wondered why they did what they did? Why they thought their betrayal would break you, turn you into something you're not? They tried, didn't they? They tried to make you like them, hurt, bitter, lost, but they couldn't. And now, they're shocked. They're puzzled by your resilience, by the fact that you didn't fall apart. Have you ever noticed how some people just can't stand to see you thriving, even after all the hurt they caused? They did things to you that could have shattered anyone else, things that might have driven another person to the brink, but not you. Somehow you held on to your goodness, your light. You didn't let the darkness take over, even when it would have been so easy to do. Why is that? What's inside you that they can't touch, no matter how hard they try? People watch you, amazed. They see the pain you've been through, and yet they don't see a reflection of their own cruelty staring back at them. They expected you to lash out, to become bitter and vengeful. They waited for it, even counted on it. But all they got was your silence, your stillness, your refusal to play their game. And that, my friend, is what scares them the most. They don't understand how you can go through so much and still be you. Think about all the times you've had to walk away from people who hurt you. It wasn't because you hated them. No, hate is not in your nature. You just loved yourself enough to say, enough is enough. You chose to protect your peace, to preserve your energy, and that's something they can't comprehend. They confuse your self-respect with coldness, but in reality, you're just being selective. You're guarding your heart, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. So let them watch. Let them wonder. They don't need to understand how you've managed to stay true to yourself. But you know, don't you? You know that it's because you have something they don't, a sense of peace, a connection to something greater, a belief in the power of love and forgiveness. And that, my dear, is why you'll always be better. You'll always be more than they ever expected. Keep surprising them. Keep being you. You're doing just fine. And in time, they'll see that your strength, your grace, your resilience, these are the things that make you unstoppable. They thought they could change you, but all they did was make you shine even brighter. Stay true to who you are, because who you are is exactly who you're meant to be. And that's something they can never take away from you.